Hello everyone, we are back with the letter. Last time we left off, we were Zachary and we found a very spooky photo, and we are going to show Hannah the before ex-boyfriend collect them all. Wait, the four ex-boyfriend collect them all. Wait, I'm confused. What boyfriends? Before we start, I do want to put a heads up of, sorry about the other day, don't know what happened, and that kind of just happened today. I had to reset the laptop really quick, but I fixed it. I just had to reset it, well, restart it. So we should be no lag at all. The Stardew VOD on YouTube is still being loaded. It keeps failing, so I don't know if this is going to be a lost VOD on YouTube. I'm going to redo it one more time to see if I can post it. If not, then that VOD is going to be gone forever. I can't save that. But anyway, we're going to continue, and hopefully Twitch stops, well, my stream or Twitch need to stop messing up. I forgot the name, so I'm gonna make them up in the meme. Okay, dokie. In hindsight, this is a dumb idea. Yeah, we're still Zachary, we're still good. That is to say, rushing to a client I barely know home first thing in the morning with news of a ghost lady tentatively hunting their newly bought property. Kevin, beautiful eyes, great sense of humor. Oh, and there's a bunch of looking pictures of Miss Hannah I brought as proof, too. So yeah, dumbest idea in the history of my dumb ideas, all things considered. Travelling to the outskirts of Anselm village at the crack of dawn with only my bike as a company equally so. Personally, I don't think any of them would take whatever I'm going to say well, no matter how nice or complimented they are. Ashton himself would tell me the same thing. Odds are, he'll laugh at my face for a good measure if he doesn't freak out on me first for not listening to his warnings. Belong to a weird clot, and away talks about the weird clot. And then you realize that he was not your boyfriend, but a guy trying to get you into the weird cult. Oh. Damn. Poor Kevin's the weirdo. Still, that whole separate can of worms I'll open a different time, seeing as I'm already standing at the right's front porch, waiting for someone to answer the door. More than anything, Miss Wright needs to know there's possibly nothing safe in this place. Warnings from friends to be damned.
If only someone would answer the door sooner. Come on.
I try to ignore the looming presence their large ornate doors gives off as I press the doorbell for the fourth time. Its shrill, ringing, mercilessly echoes, carries off by another warm passing breeze. The first time I came to this place, I found myself basking in silence it offers. Now the atmosphere is just heavy, packed with temptation and tension. Isabella's right. It does radiate the creepy kind of vibe. And with the image from the day before constantly flashing in my mind, the unease becomes harder to ignore as each second brief drifts by. Not wanting to spend enough more time here, that's necessary. I ring the bell again. Another long second tick by without anyone answering the door. If this fails, I can always go to Ash. Not really the most sensible course of action either, but waiting here ain't doing me any good. For all I know, the Wrights could be out of town. As luck would have it, Just as I'm about to turn my heel, a loud thump raises from the other side. It's followed by heavy footsteps and a string of very colourful, expensive that once purchased.
Didn't we have that bloody annoying doorbell replaced yesterday? That Irish guy just cost me a fortune and she can't even fix this nuisance.
Damn. Mitch, never paid for you fear being in love. Can't spell because the photo is blurry. Okay.
And where the hell is... Johannes, if another po-faced prat is pressing that blighted bell, I swear I'll cut there.
Oh, shit. I'm not looking forward to this talk. The door swings up and the very instant Mr. Wright greets me. His party rumbled appearance, a clear testament of how early the hour is.
And who might you be?
Oh, no.
I don't recall asking the movers to show up this early.
I was prepared to face Mr. Wright, their butler more so. But Mr. Wright, I don't quite know what to make of him yet. He was racist. He surely knows how to make an impression, I'll give him that. Albert, a rude one. I only caught sight of him yesterday. He distracting the movers. Although how from extrospection he sounded then, it seemed like more yelling was done than actually giving of distractions. Needless to say, I like to believe those instances on all those is the guy, Miss Wright, at the end of the day, did marry him. Standing before him like now, though, it's a different story altogether. Despite the differences in our respective heights, he managed to make it appear like he is the one looking down at me, not the other way round. Forgot your birthday was sickly many. Restaurant in the human suit. What? A sorry instantly form in my mouth before anything else when he reaches an eyebrow at my lack of response.
Well, that's not exactly why I'm here. Mr. Wright, yeah?
Right, of course, the one and only. And what can I do for you this fine morning? Have I seen you somewhere before? Bloody you peasants all look the same to me.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm actually...
It doesn't matter, I don't care. I've got someplace important to be at today. Just spit out what you want or be gone. I haven't got all day.
His eyes are sharp and expecting in a spit of his indifference tone. The very impression of someone whose sharp wits has served him well throughout life, the kind you have to carefully choose your words around. Discontenting how simple conversation can easily seem like a ruthless form of social maneuvery. I can see why Mr. Wright would want to steal clear of it, only for a short while. I'm afraid of Hannah, I'm a photograph. Oh my god! Claimed that he is not the Rat King, but then the night you follow him into the sewer, you... What? I am so confused at what you're on about, Wolf Pup. Not gonna lie, I'm very confused. I am a friend of Hannah.
Sorry, sir. I was just...
Oh yes, Hannah likes that.
You see, I'm a friend of Hannah, and...
A friend of Hannah?
Yes, sir.
His eyebrow shoots into his hairline at my answer. Although it swiftly disappears under his dismissive gesture and chuckles at his heels, a small frown spreads across my face before I can stop myself. What I said was nothing remotely funny in it, yet here he is, hugging an arm close to himself in a weak attempt to keep his shoulders from shaking. What a bitch. The 4 ex-boyfriend collect them all. Okay, I never heard of that.
Did I mispronounce something wrong?
No, not at all. You didn't. My wife, has never mentioned a friend like you. I suppose it's a good thing she's venturing out of the usual. Vultures and savages, all of them hiding under sheep's clothing.
I don't really get it, sir, but it's not really surprising she wouldn't talk about me. We just met yesterday during the shoot.
Uh-oh. As soon as the statement is out, the unthinkable air melts away almost pulpily. His eyebrow increases into a frown and his posture stiffens. With how fast the alphas around us changes in merely the span of few spoken words, I'm not quite sure what I can or can't say anymore. Like handling a ticking time bomb. Is this why Ashton wants us to stay away from them? If so, a part of me regrets not listening to him now.
Shoot. Who are you again?
Zachary Steele, sir. I was here yesterday from the magazine feature about your home.
Ah, that Zachary, the photographer. I remember now. Just when you think she'd be careful meddling around media types these days, she makes friends with one.
Oh my god.
It was really just small chit-chat, sir. The usual. To keep things entertaining. The shoot did take the whole afternoon to finish.
Oh, I'm sure she was pleasantly entertained. She wouldn't be making friends with media types if she wasn't. No matter, she's her own woman. She can do what she wants so long as she doesn't do anything to ruin herself.
I'm sure Miss Wright is aware of that, sir.
That she is. But we aren't here to talk about her, are we? What is this about today? The city's a long way from here. On pushbike, no less.
I don't like him.
Yeah, I was actually hoping to talk to her.
Of course, here for another headline, perhaps.
Not exactly, sir. I'm off work. This is for something else.
That's what they always say. The next thing you know, your face is in the front page of every conceivable scandal sheet going all the way to the ass end of Plymouth. You media types have such an insatiable taste for gossip. It's almost amazing.
There won't be any of that in an interior design magazine, sir. I can assure you that one.
Oh, you never know. Well-trained hounds have an uncanny way of sniffing out things no matter where you keep them.
Can you just show me Hannah, please?
I do admire the passion, though. It takes a lot of energy for someone to leave bed this early, let alone knock at someone else's door at this hour. That aside, unfortunately, you're going to have to come back some other day. You see, darling wife left not a moment ago. I have not an inkling where she went, or when she'll be back, so you're better off.
Love is at the movers.
You bitch! You fucking lied to me, you little bitch face! I'm so sorry. Beat his ass. He stopped speaking altogether and the complacent expression he has collapsed on itself. Slowly he turns just as his wife walks up to him with a step too lively for comfort, a smile too sweet to be honest. She's like very heard everything her husband and I have talked about.
Going off somewhere.
I've got the few things I want them to transfer already. Marianne made this splendid arrangement for the music room and... Love, are you listening?
I thought you already left, Buttercup.
Her hair does look a bit bright. I will admit, it looks brighter. I don't think I can look at anything. But she does look a bit more brighter. She mustered a frown, a pout more like. The mysterious gleam in her eye when she glances at me says that all that I need to know. I would have laughed at her antics if I wouldn't have offended the other man. But as it is, to let his wife have her fun without any reaction from me. I'm treading on dangerous ground with him already.
Well, I most certainly have not left yet. I wouldn't be standing here if I did, would I?
Of course you wouldn't be, darling. But don't you need to be somewhere else today? Something with Marianne? Shopping, girl
Girl things.
Oh, I'll be leaving in a few. Unless you want to join us.
I realised my face is a bit too big and you don't see the fucking hearts. There we go. Let me just fix that for you guys. There we go.
No thanks, darling. I'm afraid my liver...
Nope.
Oh, it's killing me today. Ooh.
I thought as much. You needn't have to worry. I'll be gone in a few. It's just that I heard we have a visitor. What kind of person would I be if I didn't greet him before leaving?
A very gracious one, I'm sure.
Zachary, right? Zach, it's a pleasure to see you again.
Likewise, ma'am. I was actually looking for you.
Is that so? What for?
How much was he drink when he left? I'm not sure.
A huge display of unprofessionalism is what it's for.
Shush, darling. Let the man speak. I'm sure it isn't anything like that if he has to come all the way here, yes?
It's about yesterday. The photos you asked, I mean. The copies are ready.
My hand still, as I'm about to finish the prints out of my pocket. A short second passes that which strikes me how I didn't think this through at all. How I'll go about telling her regarding of the strange photos or relieving this to her in the presence of another person. Her husband gazing over us like a hawk doesn't provide any sort of comfort either. And just like that, all the words I have been practicing to say on the way here imperturbably falls stiffened out of my mouth. Mrs. Wright must have noticed my hesitation because shortly she gives her husband arm a gentle squeeze and a tender smile gracing her face. Unlike the first, this one is meant to be two pairs.
Love, I think Hansi might need some of your input for the final guest list. Could you check on him, please?
Bollocks! Why in all Luxborn do I have to be there? Doing tedious jobs are what he's being paid for.
Because if we end up with people whose faces you do not want to show up in our housewarming party, we won't be hearing the end of it. Unless a heavy dose of liquor's involved. You know what the doctor said about that. Please do poor Hansi and your liver a favor,
He can handle that on his own, Buttercup. And my liver is doing just fine.
I thought they were gonna break up, not gonna lie. I'm very upset they haven't broken up.
I'm sure it is. But I don't know, love. I think I caught a glimpse of the name Mitch Lakes, was it? I think it was Mitch Lakes on it when I checked with Hansi earlier. You should see for yourself. It was quite a list.
Who put that blighted twat in there?
And that's why I'm asking you to look over it before I do so tonight.
Very well.
But even with that promise, he doesn't appear ready to leave. Short of passing through their doors, he stops and glances back at me, all without bothering to hide the distrust in his eyes.
Luke, dear, I'll be fine. Go back to your butler. I'm not some pregnant wife you have to worry about.
Oh! Shot fires.
Fine. I have to go to that little ankle-biter's career day later anyway. I don't see why I have to go there. Kylie's your goddaughter.
And yet, she has you around her little fingers, darling. That's basically the same thing.
Even if he has an answer to that, we don't get to hear it above the heavy front of the door. Makes me and Mr. Wright own weary exhale after she's sure her husband is out of earshot. She's nothing but sorry when she fixes her gaze back at me, and I can't help but return the same to her.
I am so sorry you had to deal with that. My husband can be a bit trying when he really applied himself.
It's fine, Miss Wright. No harm done. It was my fault for showing up here unannounced. And this might be strange coming from me, but he does have the right to be wary. The press can be quite vicious when it wants to be.
Caught unexpectedly, they'll pick you apart. It is not surprising why he acted the way he did around me.
Sweetie, if Luke treats every journalist who shows up here like that, I'm afraid we'll end up with a harassment lawsuit hanging over our heads sometime in the future. Vicious or not, some sort of finesse has to be exercised when dealing with them. I'm sorry, I hope that wasn't too offensive.
Not at all, Miss Wright. Besides, I don't think an interior design magazine would be interested in who harassed who this week. Unless it has something to do with fighting over tastefully arranged furniture. But even then, I don't think our readers will be too interested.
Oh, dearie. You've got a lot to learn. You really have no idea how a single tassel can ignite a spark in a crowd. Of course, at the end of the day, it's still the thought that counts. It's still a lovely anniversary gift from my husband. No matter. Let's just go.
She doesn't wait for an answer and immediately wanders over to a car parked some distance from us. Unsure, I find myself trailing after her. A shuffler automatically opens the passenger side door as he gestures me to follow when he climbs into the back seat.
To where are we going exactly?
I need to get out of this stuffy house for a while. Moving in, planning the party. It's starting to get suffocating in there. Luke and Hansi can have their fun while I'm gone. I don't care. I'm getting out because I can. Another minute in there and I'll drown.
My bike.
There are, of course, a lot of things questionable about her invitation. Weiss is asking a person she only knows for less than 2 days in the first place is one. How approachable this is being another, but the rest of it crashes the moment she shoots me an imploring look.
Please? I can have someone send it back to your address later. And it's just a trip to the city for some furniture, nothing more, I assure you. Marianne will be with us, and maybe you can tell me why you're here on the way.
Guess it wouldn't hurt. I might have to leave early, though.
Excellent, then. Hop in. That's what they often say, yes?
We did not give her the letter yet. Are we not giving her the letter? This can't be a good idea, but I really don't have any other choice, do I? Experientially, with the way her eyes light up when I agree to it. In my pocket, the very picture of her remained faceless, a voiceless shadow hanging, threatening between us, unknown to her. If someone told me I'll be spending my entire morning being dragged around half of downtown looking for furniture, I probably would have simply smiled at them. Then perhaps even given them a good friendly pat on the shoulder and wished them a nice day. Yeah. Not that I find anything wrong with this at all. On the contrary, this is most definitely a nice change of pace after weeks of getting bogged down by several freelance gigs and shutting myself inside my apartment wherever I can. If only the weather would have been a lot more nicer, the kind with less sun and more cloud, perhaps. With a mid-morning sun slowly beating down on us as high noon approaches, I can see why Mr. Wright skipped out on this trip. The bright side is, the whole thing seems to have put Mrs. Wright in a less somber mood. After the fifth store, her pace is considerably leveler, her gestures less guarded than the ones he displayed at the mansion earlier. The presence of another person might have helped as well, although Miss McCall seems less protectorsome to talk. Small talk, preferring to keep herself most of the time and let Miss Wright lead us wherever. She did acknowledge me with a small nod when we introduced it earlier, but that didn't make standing outside the store altogether any less awkward while we wait for our client to finish her interquarterly inside.
So, interior design, huh?
She cast me a sidelong glance before returning her to her notes again, her pen scratching faintly across the paper in a quick, successful strokes. There goes that. I did say that I am not good at starting or keeping conversation going, did I? She doesn't look back up again, and I take that as my cue to stop any attempt to striking dialogue with her, and keeps myself occupied with some other things. Except what we were here in the Luxburn, it's a busy street. People are going on their day like normal, cars moving in and out of sight, heading to who knows where. Nothing remarkable, really. The ease with which a person can fade into the background here is reflexive of the kind of city Luxburn will always be, but the humdrum one thing I've learned to live with. Looking back at the blonde looks brighter than the last stream. Okay, that's weird. I haven't changed anything, that's just her. However, those moments are few and far in between. Then again, with what graced the new channel lately, I'm starting to think I'm going to happen sooner. Can't say I'm looking forward to what it'll bring.
Luxury living, is it?
Her voice effectively cuts through my thoughts just as I count the 13th passerby wearing a hat today. Besides me, I can hear the faint rustling of paper and clicking of her pen as she slashed them back to her bag.
Excuse me, what?
The magazine you're working for. It's luxury living, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. You've been featured by them before, I take it?
A few years back, yes. For just some issues. My designs still appear from time to time, though not as frequent as before. Gotta have room for new talents, right?
It may not show in her face, but the pride is evident in her voice.
Good folks, the people running the publication. Tell me, is DK still on the editorial team?
I wouldn't know. I've only started taking jobs from them this year. Freelancer, you know.
Good man, that guy. Anyone in our field should meet him. He had a lot of things to say about art, all of them relevant. Learned a lot from him, actually, even if we both came from two different fields. I hope he's in a good place. I haven't talked to him in a while. Anyway, your portfolio must have been good if they gave you the job. They don't easily assign big features to freelancers like this.
I wouldn't say I am, but experienced, you know? The more you practice it, the more you learn the tricks of the trade. That kind of stuff.
I know what you mean. Still, you've got to keep up with the competition. Each year, a new talent emerges, and, well, you never know. Clients can be a bit fickle-minded with their choices. Believe me. Speaking of, do you think you'd be up for a new client after this?
Oh?
I think so. Depends on how big the project is.
She reaches into her bag again. Ooh. This time to pull out a business card, which she hands over to me.
When you're free, send your portfolio to Chris. He's my assistant. He's been looking for a decent photographer to help with updating the studio's portfolio. Nothing urgent,
Fancy
but
card,
the
I
sooner
agree.
the better.
Not sure if I'll have the time to squeeze this in. But, alright, I'll give it a go once.
Marianne, could you look this over for me?
At that very moment, Miss Wright emerges from the store. When I look back to Miss McCaw, a mask of professionalism has returned to her. Or at least that's what is trying to be. There's a different light in her eyes as he faces her, flicker of familiarity and recognition. I'll say it's fondness, but that would be too presumptuous. Whatever it is, don't last and is briskly swept under the prim tone of her voice assumed.
Definitely. Is there a problem?
They said they don't have the colours you suggested. Do you think we can change it around for a bit? It might take a while if we insist what we want, and you know I'd rather not worry about this later.
I think it'd be better if I handle this one myself. Excuse me.
She walks into the shop without another word, leaving the two of us standing outside. As soon as he lets out earshot, however, Miss Wright lets out a giggle and swipes the business card clearly out of my hand. She smiles at a breathsome little thing spreading across her face and wears the card in front of me. I wish she'll do that more often, the smiling thing. It suits her more than the other ones he Frenchly shows to the media.
I look away, and the next thing I know, you're picking up women. On the streets, while the sun is high, no less. I'm not sure if I should be appalled or amazed.
Heh.
Whatever happened to the Zach I met a day ago? About as tall as you. Photographer. Quite the gentleman. To tell you the truth, I'm a bit disappointed he's gone.
It ain't like that, Miss Wright. And I'm sure Miss McCullough is not the kind of woman to let herself be picked up by strangers, let alone people she barely knows.
I agree.
Oh, shush. Let me have my fun. And didn't I say you can call me Hannah? This right after you introduced yourself as my friend in front of my husband. I do believe this isn't how friends address each other. Too formal, don't you think?
She gives me the card back, nevertheless, and with it, her mood fades into a more pensive one. An odd look settles on her face, yawning a bit wistful as he looks back towards the shop display window. There's nothing remotely interesting in it for me when I follow her line of sight, though. A few trinkles there and there, a fur rug, a sofa, a wooden side table, and a lamp. All tastefully picked and arranged to resemble the typical, unique living room. On the second floor, it does look comfortable, but why they added a crib beside it baffles me. Unless, of course, the people they hope to market are those who already have children, or about to have one, then maybe it's fitting. Also, she seems less tired. Yeah, she looks, awake, more happy. I'm very confused of the timeline. What is a timeline? Okay, this is when they broke up. So they're still dating. So this is before shit has happened. Last time they were talking about babies, they did have a fight. That's when we broke up with him. Yeah. So shit hasn't happened to her yet. It still lingers better than Awkward Silence, which is definitely too out of character for a personality like Miss Hannah's. Do you think a crib will make a good gift? I think that one looks cute. Oh god. Do you think a crib would look good gift? I think that one looks cute. I think this would be a nice one.
Oh, I think that one looks cute.
Yeah, she likes it. Okay. Hannah blocks, to my surprise, shuffling 2 steps away from the window and glanced at it with a very remote as it did something remotely scandalous. A funny sight when taken out of context, and probably will be laughing, really, if I understood what warranted such reaction from her.
I wasn't looking at the crib.
Wasn't really talking about the crib, Hannah.
Ah.
Very good then. But it wasn't the crib, all right.
Alright, I get you. But that's not it. I was just saying the stuff that was on display there looks nice. Or at least as nice that it can be compared to the ones we visited earlier. But I'm sure your interior designer has something different in mind for your mansion, so don't mind me.
I was hoping that would be enough to cut the topic short. Instead, she sighs, leans on the wall closer to her, and runs a hand through the lock of her hair. There's a far-flung look in her eyes, even as she fixes it on a current crib.
You need to stop looking at people like that, sweetie.
I'm afraid I don't quite catch your drift, ma'am.
I suppose you wouldn't be aware of it. Do you know you always carry this kind of phase? Like you're always staring at the world with this honest look. Like all there is to see is all the good in it.
Frankly, I don't see anything wrong if it's like that. I mean, there always has to be something in it. You know, a sprinkle of kindness here and there. Otherwise, we'd all be miserable.
For you, maybe. Some people have to fight through it just to see that. And kindness isn't always a great thing to have around.
Oh, I skipped by mistake. It makes you wonder where this is coming from, how bad things really have gone for her to have this view. I do understand her sentiment, really, I do. Still, when it's the last thing you can cling to when things have gone inscrutably bad, sometimes you simply don't get to make a choice.
Besides, the point is, it's impossible to lie when a person is looking at you like that. Or I could, but I'd feel like a horrible person afterwards. Did you hear that, Mr. Zach? You just made me feel like a horrible person.
Damn.
I sort of wish I had one like it. Just so people would stop lying to my face.
Or you can start by being honest with yourself. It shouldn't be quite hard. Friends don't lie to each other, don't they?
I guess so.
So what was the lie?
She draws in a breath, lay a smoothing hand on her stomach, and...
But it was really the crib I was looking at earlier, silly.
I thought she was about to say, I'm pregnant! I'm pregente! I thought it was like, I lied. I am pregente!
You're right, Uncle Zach. It's cute, but the pattern's not to my taste. I'm pretty sure Marianne could do something about that, though. At the moment, what I should really be worried about is if I'm ever going to be a good mother to this child.
It's because he put her hand on the fucking belly. I thought, oh my god, she lied. She is pregente.
Ned, I can't even tell the father he's going to be one in a few months' time.
She is pregente. Oh my god, she is precante.
Probably doesn't even want anything to do with this whole pregnancy thing.
Oh my god, I'm so happy for her, but I'm not. Fuck Luke, whatever his name is. I think his name is Luke. Oh my god, Hannah, you got babies.
What am I going to do, Zach? Because right now, I'm absolutely at a loss.
I'll be your daddy.
Oh.
Oh. A beat.
Oh!
Oh! Oh, Zach. Oh, Zachary. The realization strikes me like a ton of bricks suddenly bearing down on me. More than ostrament must have shown in my face, because Hannah lets out a chuckle. The slump on her shoulder disappears altogether underneath her mitt.
Don't look so surprised, dearie. Tied the knot 7 years ago, remember?
Yeah, but Jesus!
Don't you think it's bound to happen?
See, brandished her hand in front of me, the unassuming silver brand on her finger glittering against the late morning sunlight for a second. Oh shit, I told her to dump that fucker. She's pregnante, and I told her to break up with him. Worth it. Her eyes is loving and almost tenderly, despite the trace of sadness in her voice. For all I know, there's an entire story there. I'll ask, but that would be too rude, even for friends. It's not my place to meddle to begin with.
Or at least that's what they've been saying early on. My whole social circle would be saying it's a long time coming.
But the kid is something you want, right?
Oh yes, he definitely wants
Because
the kid.
if it ain't, then that's a whole other problem.
Of course. I wouldn't deny I've been hoping to have him or her for a long time now. But then, now that we're here, all of a sudden, there are a whole lot of other things to be worried about.
Yeah, Luke doesn't want a kid.
Business, a new home, public image, my own husband, and I don't know. I didn't really have anyone for a role model. I practically grew up with nursemaids pampering me every step of the way. What if it happens to this baby as well? Oh, I can already see how this will end.
Huh. I guess it's not just my sister.
What?
You and my sister. I mean, you're both having jitters or something like that. That's what it's called, right? First baby jitters? Mind you, she was really convinced she'd do everything wrong then. He even called me in the middle of the night. Has to switch places the day she found out she's carrying a new member of the family. Never mind how utterly impossible her request is.
I'm quite sure I haven't done anything of that sort yet.
Oh, you don't know that? My brother-in-law's been telling me things 5 weeks into my sister's pregnancy. Said she's one cranky pregnant lady. Man, good thing I found a place for myself years before that bundle of joy arrived, huh?
Yeah.
It can't be that awful.
Oh, kids are horrible, dude.
Who knows? I think we'd better leave it for Mr. Right to decide, yeah?
Oh, fuck him.
Provided he comes around. He just sounds so repulsed every time the idea is brought up.
Then maybe you should say it to his face. No mincing of words or beating around the bushes.
And if he says no?
It's
You haven't
too
even
late.
told him yet.
He can't say, like, I'm pregente. No. Oh, poof, the baby's gone. I'm no pregente anymore. It doesn't work like that. The baby's already landed. It's growing. The ship is going.
Besides, that's his kid. Don't people usually say fatherhood changes men?
Oh, he needs to be changed.
I wouldn't call myself a living testament, of course. But there ought to be something that will hit him in that idea alone.
A wrecking ball would be nice.
Laughter escapes me before I can stop it, and for a moment I thought I have done something wrong when he doesn't join in. He's still her husband, no matter what gists or complaints she hurls about him being behind the media's eyes, or the presence of people she trusts. But when she does, her chuckle a small hesitant sound at first. I find the rest of my uneasy slipping away.
Well, whatever it is, my point is, you've got no idea what will happen. In the same way, you don't know if you'll be a good mom. Trust me, my sister's been there. It's perfectly normal. If my opinion matters, though.
A long second indecisional goes by. I can feel her eyes filled with nothing but curiosity boring into me while she waits for the rest. It's just a simple sentiment, but one thing I think she needs to hear for all those doubts she unwittingly places on herself. I'm just not sure if it should come from me. I read showing Hannah the photo, showing Hannah the potatoes. Hi, Morgan. I mean, yeah, we're going to show her the potatoes. To be damned.
I think you'll be a great mother, Hannah.
Oh yeah, Morgan! She's pregnant! She's pregnant! If she has an answer to that, I don't get to hear, or does he get to say it? By the way, there's nothing creepy that has happened yet in this. Oh, hello. As soon as it's out of my mouth, the bell hanging over the Austrian store claims, and here comes Miss McCall. Sure. Gasp! For more than one reason, I have never been so relieved our talk got interrupted.
Everything's been taken care of for tomorrow, Mrs. Wright. We'll have everything you requested delivered early. I've left them instructions, but I may have to visit again right before your housewarming party to check for a few things.
Oh god, the housewarming party. It hasn't happened yet, so... Oh no! Luke got 2 women pregnant. That fucker.
I hope that's acceptable to you.
Oh no.
More than Marianne. This is a little early to say, but you did marvelous work with the mansion. I can't wait to see all of it come together tomorrow.
The more I get to know things with each character and the timeline being jumped all around, it makes so much worse.
I'm only doing my job, ma'am. Needless to say, it's always a pleasure to hear a client is satisfied with my work.
Nonsense! You have every reason to be proud. I know you've already established your name here, but I'll still make sure word gets out, of course.
So what happened? I'm basically talking because they're basically getting ready for the party. If we go to the journal, they're basically getting ready for the party, which is so the party happened here. So this is the party. Oh no. Wait, when was the party? I'm very confused. Yeah, the party was this day. This is the party. About her unborn babies, saying that Luke is the father. And then we got close to Zach. And then we told him we wanted to get a divorce. And then this is what happened. We ended up from the cellar. So now we know she's pregnant. We have made her leave her husband, and her husband has got her best friend pregnant as well. This is a mess.
I think I've got a few friends who might be interested in decorating their homes. I'll see if I can introduce you to them tomorrow.
Luke, I am your father. Oh
I
God.
really don't want to impose, Mrs. Wright. There's still a lot to be done, and I'd rather be keeping an eye on it myself.
Yeah, I didn't see her at the party.
You know well enough I'll still do it. You too, Monsieur le Photographe.
Okay.
You better be the one taking the pictures for the event tomorrow, or I'll be very upset.
Okay, so she invited Zach. That makes sense. I blink at her confused. Last I checked, I have nothing scheduled on my plate tomorrow. A couple of fleeting thoughts did cross my mind, like working on personal projects. But with the expression on Hannah's face alone, I wonder before how they got Isabella to sell them the mansion with all the paperwork and loops it has to go through. Well, now the how is already standing in front of me, and the one giant ball of procession is in human form. If I have any doubt that she got around live, all of them have been dispelled right from this instant. Hannah hasn't said anything yet, but I already know what my answer will be.
What event?
Our housewarming party, dearie. I've already sent invites through your publisher. They should have informed you of it by now.
I may have probably missed it. I haven't gotten the chance to check my mailbox yet. Deadlines, real life happenings, you know. they can be pretty hectic. I'll try later, but they might have already assigned it to a different photographer if they haven't received my reply yet.
That's not a problem. Nothing a little call from me can't fix. I'll have them know I'm specifically requesting for your presence. It shouldn't be too hard. Just promise me you'll show up. I expect to see you both there. No excuses.
Good company, good music, good food. Of course I'll be there.
Yeah, same Zach, mood.
Lovely. I hope we have that settled then. I'd love to stay and chat, but unfortunately I have an appointment scheduled with the doctors after this.
Baby!
You two will have to excuse me.
Are you feeling fine, ma'am?
It's nothing big.
There's a short while in which her hand friendly touches her stomach when she says this. Her smile as he does so, a tender thing in itself. She might never let it cross her mind, but motherhood would suit her. The kid is already loved, even when he or she has yet to have sense of the world. What if I played a creeper sound out random? I get scared over creeper sound in the letter. Candid moments like this, I wish I had brought a camera for.
Sorry we had to cut this short. I'd love to have lunch with you two, but, well, you two know how it goes.
It's quite fine, Mrs. Wright. I need to get going as well.
Is it somewhere far from here? I can have my driver drop you off on the way.
No, please. There's no need for that, Mrs. Wright. It's just within the city.
I see. What about you, Zach? We did leave your push bike at the mansion. Don't worry, I'll have someone bring it to your home later.
Nah, I live within the city too. A few blocks from here, in fact. I only visited earlier because...
Yeah, the letter! Come on, let's give the letter. Let's give the letter. The photos. Damn, I have completely forgotten about them. My hand grazes the side of my pocket where I kept them since this morning. And sure enough, they're still there, waiting for the whole world to see them.
Because, Zach, sweetie, you're zoning out.
Miss Hannah, earlier, at the mansion,
Show her the pictures. We're gonna show the pictures.
I think it would be better if you take a look at these yourself.
Oh, she didn't like that! No! My friendship! My Mogusta! Seeing is believing, right? Oh god. I reach into my pocket and pull out the photo, handling everything to her. Recognition flicker across her eyes when she reaches for them and have to stamp down the tiny trinkle of regret in my stomach for having the gall to show it to her. There's a big boost, oh god. Only to cut deeper in the instant both her and Miss McCall expression changes, and it's not a good look. To say she's impulsed with the total understandment. All this time, Hannah has been nothing but distract, saying what she feels, expressing what she wants. Away from the glamorous of the camera's set lens, she's a whole different person. But as she goes through each of the pictures, I can't get an easy read on her. Is that what's gonna happen to her? I mean, the ghost was right behind her when we had this, and the ghost was like choking her.
Zach, dearie, what is this?
Your photos, the ones you requested copies of. I mean, they came out that way, and I thought you should know.
Oh, I get it. You know, I've heard before that artists can be a bit weird.
No! Did you remember you were choked?
Have you ever gotten that kind of comment, Marianne?
Not in my line of work, I'm afraid. Or ever, Mrs. Wright. I'd rather keep my personal hobbies away from my actual work. Less stress that way.
Well, I suppose it just never crossed my mind that the saying applies to you as well, Zach. But talent's what's important, As long as you make good art, it doesn't matter.
Oh, no, you see, when we had that photo shoot yesterday, there was some...
I wouldn't say I don't appreciate it. I did ask for copies, darling. But would it be possible for you to give me normal-looking ones? Preferably with my head
Oh my god,
intact.
this bitch. This bitch. I thought she would understand.
I admire the effort you took to edit this, though. It looks authentic.
Hannah is not listening. I thought he would, because he was there at the time. He felt it.
Frankly, if I show this to some other person, they'd probably believe those silly rumors about the mansion. Good publicity, but not the kind I'd want for my new home. So please.
She drops them back in my hand like they're very sourceful, burnt her.
If you could redo this, that would be wonderful. I'm positive you can do a better job than the one you just showed. Just try to keep the edits to a minimum,
Oh my god, this bitch.
Yeah, I can, sure.
I regret life.
You can take your time, of course. And speaking of time, I really must go.
She leaves without much as a wave. I don't have to take a guess to know I've dismayed her, or, in her own words, weirded her out. Besides me, Miss McCall shakes her head. What are the odds that we also ruined our chances with the job she offered earlier? Very high, I'll say. It's a foolish idea in the first place. Oh god! I messed up! Miss McCall departs shortly after Miss Wright has taken her leave, muttering something about getting a quick lunch before fetching Butchul from Chris. I don't know what or whose Butchul trolley is. I must be important to her, as this is kind of a hurry. And well, she doesn't seem to be fond of the small talk, something we both agree on. Lunch sounds good, or a walk around the city maybe, but with the sun as high as it's now, nah. And after how things with Miss Hannah went, I simply can't muster the appetite for anything at the moment. If I don't do anything with it now, I have this impression it will rear its ugly head again. Then again, things might be too late to fix. What other choice do I have? Ash, Rebecca? It's all like wood. All they give me is a pat on the back and a Zeba, go get some sleep. You're out again from Ash. I'll talk to Isabella, but I haven't seen her around since she showed me up at my apartment 2 days ago. Oh, fuck me. Weird. There's one person though.
Damn, I should have thought of that first.
Oh? Okay. We're gonna end the stream here. We're gonna end it at the church. I think it's mighty holy for us to end it here. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like. I'm not sure when the Stardew VOD will come out. It might not come out, depending if it will load or not. But yes, I will be streaming this weekend, I think, for the next one, and it will be with Minecraft. I think it's this Sunday I'm playing Minecraft with a group of friends. So keep an eye on that, and I shall see you next time. A good bye-bye.